Hey, it's Kyle from Rockin' in the Basement. It's Easter morning. It's a beautiful morning and just getting some outdoor time before I spend the day with the family. And just want to take 5 minutes to talk metal with you guys. But first things first, I want to give a shout out to Tony, Lord A7. He shouted out my channel, picked up some subscribers, and I'm grateful for anyone that wants to take a couple minutes to show some interest in what I gotta say or anything like that. So last night I went to the Enslaved show in Toronto, and spending any time in the city just does kind of remind me of how much better it is out here in the suburbs. Couldn't live in the city. No, I couldn't do it. But here I am back home, and if I don't have to work the next morning after a show, I like to take a walk and listen to those bands and reflect a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So, Enslaved I've seen before, but it's been several years, and they're touring for their new album, Heimdall. It was at the Opera House in Toronto, which is in the East End. It's not that busy of an area, even though it's still in the city. But I really enjoy it there. My wife and I used to spend a ton of time out there before we had kids, going to comedy shows, and the beaches are not too far from there and all that. But Enslaved, so sometimes when I go to a show, if I'm not familiar with the opening bands, I don't try to acquaint myself. I try to let them surprise me and impress me, and I'll go from there if I like it. And Black Anvil, I was aware of. I heard the first album, and then the second one, I think it was called Hail Death. I'm pretty familiar with that. But they've put out a couple albums since that I don't know so well. And the new material I was hearing, it didn't really grab me, but I still thought it was a good performance. The bassist and vocalist, I think he's a great frontman. And some people hate on this band. They say these are hardcore guys, it's not real black metal. I don't think that's true. I think they're a real black metal band, and a pretty good one. But they didn't knock my socks off, but I'm definitely interested in hearing more. Insomnium, I've never listened to them. Finnish melodic death metal, and I always figured it wasn't my thing. They sounded amazing. I spent most of my time focused on the lead guitar player. I thought he was a great player and a great showman. And by the end of the set, I felt that they kind of won me over. However, I downloaded a number of the songs that they played last night and put them on my walk for this morning. And I've been listening to them, right now. And I think at the end of the day, this isn't for me. It was a good show, but Insomnium are not a band that I'm really going to be going forward with. But Enslaved, so Ivar wasn't there. He had a family emergency back home, from what I understand, and he's going to be missing this tour. So they didn't replace him. They went with one guitar player, just Ice Dale on guitars. I thought it was a cool setup. They had the drummer in one corner, the keyboard player in the other corner. And Ice Dale and Grotto definitely made use of the extra room on stage. And it was a pretty varied set list, definitely more focused on newer stuff. But they played 3 songs from the new album, Heimdall, 2 from Utgard, 2 from Isa, 2 from Below the Lights, which was a welcome addition, and the final song was from Horden's Land. Wasn't a sellout, but a pretty packed house, and had a good time overall. I can walk all day, but I'm turning 40 in a couple months. Standing stationary for too much gets to me, and I'm kind of a tightly wound person in the first place. I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of the guy that stands with his arms at his side or his arms crossed during a show. But at least, I don't talk, and I'm not on my phone and whatnot. You got my attention. But yeah, I wish I could unwind a little bit more. I think I'd have a lot more fun if I could just say, fuck yeah, and lose it a bit, but it's not me. Maybe one day. But yeah, that's it. 5 minutes just talking about the Enslaved show last night. And thanks for watching. Again, I kind of want to treat this channel as a just kind of a metal journal. I love talking about it, whether people are watching or not. And if nothing else, I can always go look back on these myself and be reminded of that show. So that's where I'm coming from, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.